What up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye. That's right, you're through to the chopping block. Now, I'm going to continue my daily series. Sorry, it's a bit later than normal. And next up on my list, Henrikh Mkhitaryan. I need you to the front of the congregation, brother. Now, for those of you who don't know, Mkhitaryan was actually in my January chopping block. Up until January, I didn't think he had a particularly good season. I felt as though a lot of his play, there was a lot left to be desired, to be perfectly honest. But he had an injury where he was out for about 4 or 5 weeks. And ever since that, he's been coming back like a man possessed. Dare I say, he looks almost like Dortmund Mkhitaryan. He just looks full of life. And he's playing very good football at the moment. He really is. Looks like he's actually putting effort in and running about. Who would have ever thought that I'd be talking about the same Mkhitaryan I was talking so much shit about in January? But rightly so, because listen, he's been with us a year, and the last 2 months aside, I remember maybe 4 good performances from him. Like, good performances from him. Performances that would justify his wage packet. So if he's playing so well, Chris, why is he on the chopping block? Well, remember, this isn't what I would do necessarily. This is what I believe the club would do. And it's those wages that I think the club will make the decision on. You see, Henrikh Mkhitaryan, for better or worse, some genius decided to give him a £190,000 a week contract. And I think Mkhitaryan is a good player, but as Santi Cazorla, he probably isn't. I think Santi Cazorla, incidentally, was the best technical player that we've had in the last 10 years. I love Santi so much, and it pains me that he's doing so well for Villarreal. It's like, oh shit, I didn't know that was still in your locker. But yeah, to me, I think with Mkhitaryan, it's simply a case of the fact that I think the club are going to make a big splash when it comes to wages. You know, it's been an embarrassing kind of situation for us, particularly from a public standpoint, and for the club, they would have hated the fact that we couldn't sign anyone because we were so close to our 7% wage threshold. And for a very similar reason to why I believe that Mesut Ozil will go, we can't afford him. Which you might sit there and say, what are you talking about? We can't afford to give someone a £190,000 a week contract. No, I believe we can do that, but I think it's going to have to be an elite player. And yes, I do believe that Mkhitaryan is playing very well at the moment, but he ain't playing like what I would. He's not an elite player. Let's be real here. You know, you can make a justification for Lacazette. You can make a justification for Aubameyang, but with Mkhitaryan, I don't think you could justify those wages for him, even as well as he is playing. Especially when you look forward to the future, when you think to yourself, right, we need some winners in this team. So you're looking to the likes of, yes, your young players and your Reece Nelsons and your Sakas, but you're also, I mean, we're considering to try and buy Pepe, which I don't think will happen. But then, you know, you would think Pepe, I think I heard someone say he's on £70,000 a week at the moment. Someone like Pepe would command a £200,000 a week contract. Meanwhile, you've got Mkhitaryan on £190,000 a week, possibly won't get as many games next season. He's also 30 years old. You think to yourself, blimey, can we afford to keep him? It did occur to me that, because a lot of people have made the point, particularly in my Ozil video, that, yeah, but if you let Ramsey go and you let Ozil go, where's the creativity going to come? But I think Emre is not necessarily about the number 10. I think we, as fans, are so conditioned and used to seeing the role of a number 10 that I think we worry that if the likes of Ozil and Ramsey goes, and now a Mkhitaryan goes, where is our creativity going to come from? And I think what Emre wants to do is he wants to have two, ideally, fast, direct wingers who can create by going down the wing, but also work hard in tracking back. For better or worse, I think that's the team that Emre wants to play. He doesn't want to have people where, albeit they're creative, but they're not doing anything else. Especially they're not doing anything else when we don't have the ball. I think to Emre, it's almost more important that he has players that do, if possible, more off the ball than they do on the ball. And I think that's why he likes the likes of Alex Iwobi so much. He likes the likes of Guendouzi so much, because these are players who, again, for better or worse, they're always moving. Always moving. Best believe if Ramsey had been reasonable with his contract demands and signed a new contract, Ramsey would be an Emre type of player. If Danny Welbeck hadn't been injured, Danny Welbeck would be an Emre type of player. I've had people ask me this question before, and it's not a popular answer that I give, but it's an answer I honestly believe would be the case. You know, and people have asked me, you know, that if Danny Welbeck gets up to speed and proves that he's fit and ready to start the season, do you think it's possible that Arsenal may offer him a new contract? I absolutely think they may, especially if Emre has anything to do with it. I think there is a strong possibility, actually, that if Danny Welbeck is half the player he used to be, and I say that because generally you're not the same when you have these knee injuries, these ankle injuries. Any injuries around joints, you're generally not the same. So Danny Welbeck would have to prove that he was able to move around a lot. For me personally, I've always liked Danny Welbeck, but my issue with him is simple. He's a striker who can't finish. And much like I criticised Kolasinac for not defending when he's a defender, I criticise Welbeck for not scoring when you're a striker. But I like every other attribute he has, so it's highly frustrating. Just like I suppose you could criticise Iwobi for not always having an end product, in spite of the fact that the first 75% of his transitional play is excellent. So it's a difficult one. But for me, going back to Mkhitaryan, I believe that they'll look at his age and they'll say to himself, if he can't be a Santi Cazorla type of player who can change his position, play deep, perhaps be a number 8 instead of a winger, then I could see him going only one way, and that's leaving the club. I think it's a shame because we are losing a lot of creative players, but I think the plan is to bring a lot of creative players on board. I think it's going to be an interesting summer. I don't think it's going to be a summer of us just buying defenders, as some people have suggested. Arsenal have never really been that way. We've always looked towards the future, and we've always looked towards attacking players. And I think if we are in the market for players, best believe at least one of them is going to be a winger. And I think for that reason, it's going to be sayonara at Mkhitaryan. So that is why I believe, simply put, that Arsenal Football Club will decide to not keep Henrikh Mkhitaryan. You guys let me know what you think. Would you keep Mkhitaryan? Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, crush, destroy, drop kick the shit out of that like button. I appreciate it when you guys do that. I'll be back tomorrow. I think it's time to get everybody back on board, because I feel like this video is also going to be one that people have problems with, because Arsenal fans have very short memories. So they only remember that Henrikh Mkhitaryan has been fabulous for the last 8 weeks. And I agree, he's been excellent for the last 8 weeks. But I'm also looking at long term and what I think the board will be thinking. But I think the next candidate, everybody's going to be on board for that one. So look forward to that. I'll be back tomorrow with that. If you like this video, like I say, absolutely make sure you hit that like button. I appreciate it, guys. All right, I'm out of here. Take care. Deuces.